Hello and welcome to another Monday and another session of Let's Get Real with Mona, where I share stories and teachings to inspire you to turn your dreams into reality. So please do let me know who's joining me today. Please do say hello and where you are joining us from. Yes, it's a chilly, chilly day in Johannesburg. So if I look like an Eskimo today, well, it's because it's pretty chilly today. So, how have you been since we last chatted? What have you been pondering about this theme, this topic called power? So, as people are coming on, I see people are joining. Let's just think about it. Last week we looked at what does power mean to you? What is your understanding of power? And yes, I do know some people commented and shared their comments about my share last week. And I'd love for you to do that again this week, whether you're watching me live, or you're going to be catching the replay. I'd love to know your thoughts on my share today and what that means for you. So, today we're going to be delving a little deeper into this topic of power and understanding why it's important for us to acknowledge the powerful beings we are in the process of creating our abundant lives. Now, I have a question for you. Have you acknowledged the powerful being that you are? Well, I know that this question can bring up a whole range of mixed feelings because it did for me too. You see, when I learned that I am a powerful being, now just think about that. When you learn that you are a powerful being, well, for me at one stage, a part of me was excited to know, like, I'm a powerful being. Then there was another side of me that was terrified of being a powerful being. Because what we've seen powerful people have done in this world and are still doing in this world. So I was terrified of it. And then there was another side of me that wondered, can this even be a possibility that I am powerful? Now, where do you stand with this? Because, like I said, there's a range of feelings and emotions and thoughts that can pop up regarding this. Because if you think about it, over the existence of humanity, power had been reserved, and I put it in quotes, power had been reserved for the chosen ones, for the elite, for the dictators around the world, the conquerors, the colonizers. It was reserved for a certain class of people. Now, for the average person, the lay person, power has been something elusive. I'm sure many of you can resonate with that. When you think of the country I've grown up in, South Africa, well, power was reserved for the few. Power was reserved for a specific race. And now, even though we are in a democracy, power is still reserved, and I put power in quotes again, reserved for the select few. And again, it feels like power is elusive. Now, over the years, over the lifetimes, over the many thousands of years of humanity's existence, many have gone on these quests to attain power because they believed it was something outside of them. So people went out looking for power, and some succeeded based on what their definition of power was, and others failed dismally. Now, I don't know about you, But when I came into this world, nobody told me that I'm a powerful being. How about you? Nobody told me that I came equipped with all the skills, the talents, the ability to find the resources that was necessary for me to fulfill my divine purpose on this planet. Right? Nobody even spoke about power. If anything, power was seen as a word that was not to be uttered in public or in polite company. It's as if it was a secret. So just think about that. We've grown up in this world distancing ourselves from power. So why would we even acknowledge that we are powerful beings? Because if you know throughout history, what we have seen is anybody who had power, power that was used for good, or power that was used to cause harm and hurt others for evil deeds, people were judged for it either way. So the minute power was shown in some form, people ran away from it. But here's the thing, if you haven't realized it, we are all powerful beings, and every single day we are creating our lives. Yes, whether it's the good things or the not so good things in our life, we are creating it. I want you to just sit with that for a minute. How does that resonate with you? Well, if you've been on this journey of awakening, you would know that we are responsible for our creation. That life is not happening to us, it's happening for us. You would realize that every thought creates something in our lives. Every action either creates or doesn't create something in our life. That we are these beings that, well, make our life happen. And yet we've been made to believe that we do not have power, that we are not powerful beings. And think about this. What happens when we think we are not powerful beings? We let other people make decisions for us. We let other people control us. And I'm just looking at the bouquet of flowers behind me. How beautiful is it? You know, red is, that's my dog. If you can hear her barking, that's my dog in the background. Let's get back to the bouquet of flowers. That's my beautiful bouquet of flowers from my favorite florist here in Bedfordview, Lizzie Blossoms. And if you look at those colors, I just realized it now whilst I was talking to you. There's a red rose, and we all know that red is representative of power. Red's always been synonymous with power. And then we have some white flowers in there. Now, white is usually associated with peace. For me, it's also purity. And if you look at that beautiful bouquet of flowers, it exists in the same vase and it looks beautiful in the same vase because that's how nature is. There's one flower not trying to be more powerful than the other flower or the other color, because they're different types of flowers, they're different colors. And if you know me, I'm all about symbolism. So even though I placed that bouquet of flowers here next to me, I didn't realize and pay attention to the colors until I'm been speaking to you right now. So look around you. What are you seeing? What are you experiencing? Does it show that you are acknowledging you as the powerful being you are? Because remember, Acknowledging our power, acknowledging the powerful beings we are, has got nothing to do about wielding a sword and pushing others down. When we acknowledge our power, not only do we rise, we help others rise too. Because you see, the power that we have, the powerful beings that we are, is an acknowledgement of the ability to create. So when you understand that you are a powerful being and you have been creating the life that you've been living all this time, and if certain things are not so good, well, you are to now sit with this and realize that if you are this powerful being, what can you change to change those situations and circumstances that are challenging you? Now, we've not been told this because it's a big secret. Because the less us humans know about our power, well, then we can be controlled. But if you look at any religious text, if you look at any philosophy out there, doesn't matter whether it comes from the East or the West or wherever it comes from, everything's leading us down the same path, reminding us how powerful we are. You see, eventually we wouldn't require a middleman to connect to God, Source, Spirit. We wouldn't require someone else to teach us how to heal ourselves. Right now, because we've all suffered amnesia since we came onto this planet, we forgot that we are these powerful beings. And that's what I wanted to remind you today. I wanted to remind you how powerful you really are. You can wish something into existence. That will eventually happen. It's not wishful thinking. You can think something into existence. You can speak something into existence. And I'm sure many of you have been experiencing this. If you speak negativity, if you speak worry, if you sit in worry, if you sit in doubt, what have you been experiencing? I'm sure it hasn't been an inflow of abundance. I'm sure you had more things to be worried about. If you've been fearful, what has been happening around you? I'm sure you have experienced more incidents to be more fearful. So, are you understanding how powerful you are? Now, the more we are distanced from this acknowledgement, this understanding, you see, we just let things happen. We may sit and look at the world and wonder, when is it going to change? Some people even ask me, will this ever change in my lifetime? And do you know what my answer to that is? Absolutely yes. I'm not sure how long you plan to live, but I plan to live for a really, really long time. And I know that the changes are happening already. We may not be able to see it right now in the way we may want to see it. Because here's another thing about not acknowledging our power. When we understand that we are powerful beings, we understand that 1 degree, a shift of 1 degree, creates a whole new destination that we move into. That's the understanding of power. That 1 degree, a shift of 1 degree, sends a ship on a whole different course. And you end up somewhere else. So if we understand the vastness of the universe, we understand that just the small act of acknowledging our power in whatever it is that we've been sent here, and whatever power we tap into, which is innately ours, and we get to be in that, we get to sit with that, we get to share that, we get to express that power in the way that we are to do it. We are creating the shifts. We are creating the change. But it's important that we acknowledge it. And I know there's so much of discomfort with acknowledging power. But that's why we are having this chat today. That's why I'm sharing this with you today. Because the more we acknowledge it, the more we understand who we are. We are a representation of the universe, source, spirit, God. Do you see a powerless, infinite wisdom out there? No. If we are a representation of that which created us, how then can we sit and throw our shoulders up in despair? Remember, everything is happening for us to stand in our power, to rise, to uplift ourselves and others. And the higher we go, well, what do you think is going to happen? The scales are going to be tipped. Because right now, it seems as if there's more negativity in the world than good. But the truth is this, there's always the opposite of what we're seeing in the world. So whether we see good all the time, there is negativity. And if we see negativity all the time, there is good. We've got to seek that good so that eventually, we're going higher and higher and higher. And remember, when you stand in your power, when you embrace your power, when you acknowledge your power, you're giving thanks and acknowledgement to your Creator. You are understanding, you are remembering who you are. Because that's what this journey of life is all about. Remembering who you are. Remembering eventually why you've been sent to this planet. And remembering what an important piece of the puzzle you are. So, if you want to create the abundant life that your soul yearns to create through you, then it's time that you remembered and acknowledged your power. You're a master manifester. Right now, maybe you're not creating the things you desire and love, you're creating what you don't love. So, can you see how powerful you are? Now, it's time to flip that. Start creating the life of your dreams. Start turning your dreams into reality. And together, what we do, we create the country and we create the world of our dreams. So, are you ready? Are you ready to acknowledge you today? Are you ready to acknowledge the powerful being that you are? Are you ready to embrace you, the magnificent, powerful being that was sent here onto this planet? So I'd love to hear what resonated with you today. I'd love to know what aspect of you woke up. I'd love to know how the truth of you being a powerful being resonated and where it landed with you. And if you're ready to show up in the world as the powerful being that your Creator sent to this planet. So until next week, we're going to look again further and deeper into the next level of what power is. Let me know how you're doing with this, and I'll see you next week. So until then, ciao for now.